Hello everyone, welcome to FRL Round 8 of the European Cup. We are just about ready to start the race. As you can see, the final minutes of free race practice are still underway. So I'm joined here in the commentary box with Wolf. Wolf.
Hi, hi, yeah.
Uh, so, anyways, we're just about ready for the race to get underway. Uh, in any minute now, basically. As you can see in practice, there's a pretty decent spread among drivers. So, this is Gisborne Hill, and this is the first race that FRL is going to have at Gisborne Hill. As you can see on the camera, Gisborne Hill is different from other Gisborne tracks in that it has this new section after the second chicane, after this long straight. A lot of drivers have been hitting this wall in practice, so we'll have to see how many hit it during the race. That could really spice things up. But it looks like a race is about to go underway. Or qualifying, sorry.
Qualifying here.
My bad.
Yeah, I just received news from one of the championship contenders, Man50. He's going to rejoin the server any minute because his PC just crashed. So yeah, tough luck for him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Looks like Dustin is the first driver out on track. So we'll have to see if he's able to set himself a good lap with all that clean air in front of him and nobody obstructing his view. Of course, as I say that, Kirsten slides past him to take the new #1 slot. So here they come in to that second chicane with the new bit that I was talking about earlier that has just been really difficult for drivers to get right. We might be able to see somebody make a mistake back there, but it looks like most people are being fairly slow through there currently. Anyways,
Great
heading
save.
back
So
to Dustin, who has just crossed the line to start their first lap, with Karsten just ahead of him. Like everybody's getting through turn 1 pretty clean. Any purple sectors as we start to near the Sector 1 cutoff?
he's first. He's first on going to sector two. He has a oh no, Mark has he's okay,
Ooh,
he's had a good place the whole week. So yeah, let's see what he can do. This hey no, Slat Eyes takes the fastest sector one away from Mark Anthony.
yes, so Slat Eye is looking to have a pretty fast lap so far. We'll have to see if he manages to hold on to it. Mark with the fastest Sector 2 so far, but still plenty of drivers to go through there. Now we see Bacon's
Dustin
take
hits
the
the wall.
fastest Sector 1.
Yeah, just so Dustin hit the wall there. That's not a good sign. But Bacon's he's on the fly right now. Let's see if he can get in sector two. No, he only has the personal best. So Mark Anthony was four with a 14.8. So very,
That's
very
a
good lap.
great lap from Mark right there. And
And
Slat only
Splat
7 thousandths of a second off. Wow. Very
Play
close.
Games goes fourth. Two for Guy Carson. He's on the left side. Milo goes P3. The one if I'm correct, he is the reserve for I believe Max GP. Yes, it is Max GP. He's reserving for semi.
Yes, for 21K Clouds, aka Semi. He's reserved multiple times for that driver. Is Andy starting to flyer? I think Andy might be starting to flyer.
I think. So that. Oh no, he is on it.
He might be on a flyer, I'm not certain. We'll have to see when he gets to the end of the straight.
Okay, he is on the hot lap. So, but
No,
no
that's a flying
green.
lap. That's a flying lap, so you've got 2 green sectors. Of course, this is his first lap, so we'll have to see how that does.
How he took that corner that he used like full advantage of that leniency that Pollard got to the line. Where is he going? So only not there's some purple
And he crosses the
third
line, goes up to
sector.
P3. That's pretty nice for Andy.
Was fastest in sector one, but he gonna take that
Oh, Slat was
two.
the fastest sector 1, just to mess up and have to
So hit the
reset.
wall there and it's the wall. Yeah, Carson just hit the wall there.
Oof. There's a lot of drivers being caught out in massive mistakes this round. I think that the race could get really interesting. I think Bacon has just hit the wall, but I think he might be on an outlap. We'll have to find out. And no, I guess Bacon's did not hit the wall. You can see some drivers take a really wide berth from the wall to try to not even risk hitting the wall, but other drivers really just go ham right up to the wall to try and get as close as they can to it.
And Andy the Che just had a
Oh, and
massive.
16
Not
Rise
sure what
just hit
happened
the
there.
wall. Looks like Slat is coming around to start their next flying lap after setting that purple first sector and having to reset. Slat is only 7 thousandths off of Mark, so he could really, he really stands a chance to take that pole away if he can just improve a tiny little bit. And they're going down the hill now. And he has a green first sector, which means he is improving. Not as much as his first lap, but he is improving. As long as he doesn't make any major mistakes, then he could be, he could have a really good shot to get pole right now.
But Mark Anthony, he's also on personal best as well. So yeah, we might not see that challenge for pole.
Now Slack going through that one hard corner. Does he hit the wall? No, he does not hit the wall. Does this mean that Slack's going to be able to take pole from Mark? And if he does, for how long will he be able to hold it? Going through the final corners and up to the line.
27,000 is that pole?
No, he does not take pole. He only improves by 3 thousandths of a second. Wow. Talk about tight margins. Slat is still 4 thousandths off. As long as Sebastian
Past
Coteau
P3.
up to
Oh,
P3.
that's what really why going to sausage cover. Yeah, Anthony. He's on the pole.
Hey, Wolf, your mic's glitching out a little bit.
it's still like terrible.
And we can see Dustin just sitting in the middle of the runoff.
Yeah, I think he's given up on. Oh, he's actually got.
I think he might have just been getting out of the way of Sack and who's that driver in front of him? Bacon's. Now Bacon's and Sack both start their flying laps. As well as it looks like Milo coming up to start a flying lap, as well as
So coming
Slat.
up in his step as well.
Yes, a lot of drivers starting final flying laps right now.
And he goes P3. Costa goes P3. So it is pretty much an intelligent sandwich, unless if anyone
Yes.
is behind, he can.
However,
Uh,
Slat's improving, but Mark has a purple first sector. Oh no, wait, but
oh,
that he
he's
had
not
to
done.
reset. That's a previous lap. He's starting a new one. So right now, Slat is improving Sector 1. So will he be able to continue improving through Sector 2 and possibly, just possibly, try to take that pole away from Mark? And will Mark be able to take it back? As now we see Karsten going backwards in the pit lane.
This is last chance to get pole position. He almost hits the wall. That was again so close to just messing up that potential pole lap as Mark Anthony's in first one. Let's see what that can do as he goes to the line. Is that provisional pole? Yes, it is
Yes, he does
provisional
take
pole.
pole by 500ths. That's not much. So will Mark be able to fight
Yeah,
back? Mark with a green first sector. Heading
it's
through
it.
this is the one of if not the longest straight on the FRL calendar right here. Heading into the chicanes and into that tight corner. How's he gonna do it? He does
A good
not
one.
hit the
That was a
wall.
good one.
He does not
That
hit
was a
the wall.
good one there.
He's got a green first sector and a red second sector, just like Slat Eyes did, and he's coming through the final corners.
Surely that's pole.
Surely this
That's
is
surely pole
pole.
position.
Surely this is pole.
Yeah, it is gonna be pole, man. Yep,
And it
I knew
is.
it.
And he improves by a full tenth.
That was so obvious that Mark was gonna get pole. Alright, let's see what other strategies. As we have Mark going onto the wet and he really goes into the hearts. So
So it's looking like the majority of drivers starting on hard tires. In fact, nearly all drivers starting on hard tires.
going
Five
towards five
lights.
red lights.
It's
And we
lights
are underway
out.
here for the first race in Gisborne Hill. It is a very, very clean start for everyone. Let's see from the pole sitter, Mark Anthony. He's gonna get the whole shot to turn one, isn't he? But yeah, he's gonna get the whole shot to turn one. As Carson was slightly wide on the exit of turn one. That's not the best thing to do when they go through turn one. You're gonna lose maybe a tenth or two. As light goes really, really wide uh through turn three as they go into the hairpin. This is gonna be a slipstream fest, isn't it?
Yes, Gisborne is always a slipstream fest, but especially with the short version because it means even more straights, or it means a shorter track time, and still you have that super long straight in the back. So then we see
Yeah,
Karsten
we
in the
got the
lead
corner to come
temporarily,
as
then
well.
it's Mark again. Looks like maybe is anybody gonna hit the wall back there? Doesn't look like anybody hits the wall.
No,
Lap one.
no. Surprisingly, they all keep it clean through there. So yeah, that's a big W for the drivers.
Yes, so now we have Andy right up
As that
there.
I just made a huge mistake. I think he got too much dirty air. So oh my goodness, so many drivers making different lines.
Yes.
somehow he's still in the lead as Sebastian Coe. He takes P2 from Karsten, and now Andy's not trying to challenge the lead.
It's going to be like this all to the finish line, I think. Drivers just switching out in the top spot, but I think Mark is doing surprisingly well to be able to hold on to P1 for this long. Usually we're seeing P1 get handed back and forth between a number of drivers, but he's held on to it for an entire lap, which is really impressive. But how long will he be able to hold on to it? As now we see Karsten, Andy, Seb, and Milo all closing in so fast. It's like now Play Games leads with Milo in
Yeah,
second.
he's one of the new drivers.
So it looks like Mark made a mistake. He's now a tenth. He's now a tenth down, but he's gaining back
But
up,
it's not gonna matter.
and he's already gained back up and is well within a tenth. And he's in P2 now, just alongside Play Games. Will he be able to overtake Play Games? Yes, he does. So Mark is back into the lead as they head into turn one for lap 3 out of 33.
Yeah, Play Games, he's doing really well, I think. But if this is his first race, I think, you know, Play
Yes,
Games, if you know him, if you play the game, you should know that he's the GOAT.
yes.
And maybe other. So yeah, let's see what Play Games can do as he drops all the way down to P6. That's good.
Mark is doing really well. Mark is the AM championship leader, and he has won nearly every race in the AM, or not quite every race, but he's won a lot of races, gotten on the podium nearly every race. So it's no surprise to see him fighting up high here.
Young, PA and P9. So, what's that? Interesting. What's that?
Your mic is glitching out. Uh,
Again,
so here we have Man Pifting. Up in that front pack, we got Sebastian Coe, Play Games, Man Pifting, Engie, Mark, Milo, and Bacons, and then Karsten and Slat are just behind, but still within the group, still within Slipstream. And then you have a longer gap back to P10, 16 Rise, and Insane Sec, and Jesper fighting it out with Sussy Imposter just behind, and Giacomo just behind them. And further back, you have Dustin and Akko. But looking back up at the front, you can see that Mark has pulled a surprising lead out in front, but the drivers behind have slipstreamed through that long straight, and so they're slowly catching back up. And now it looks like Engie takes the lead from Play Games, Milo, Man 15, and Mark. Engie is the championship leader here in the European Cup. So, oh, is anybody making a corner cut? No, not quite, but they get very close to corner cutting right there. All the drivers do. And now heading into turn one. This is only the 5th lap. We got 27 or so more of these after this. So now we see Andy still leading, but he takes a bit of more of a wider line. Will he be able to hold on? No, it looks like Man 15 takes the lead from him. But it looks like Andy might be taking it back. Who knows? As now we see Sebastian Coe and Play Games leads momentarily. But it looks like Andy is now taking the lead once again. From Play Games, Man 15, Sebastian Coe. And as I say that, Man 15 gets past Play Games to take P2. I mean, this is
that's
still
one.
anyone's race. Anyone within the top 9 could still get this win. Oh, and as I say that, Man 15 corner cuts on the entry into the chicane section and loses a ton of time. He's now a full second back from Sebastian Coe for the race leader. But he's still within slipstream of Play Games, so he should be able to fight it back and take that space back.
Protected by Man 15 so I can get the slipstream. I'm not too sure about that. didn't. Who knows? It's man 15. He does what he wants to do.
Yes,
He is the reigning Division 2 champion. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
yes, Man 15 is the championship winner. Now he's with Slat, his teammate, right at the back of that top pack. Slowly crawling his way back. He's made it up. He's made up 2/10 so far. I'm sure that on this straight he'll make up far more with that slipstream. Play Games currently leads, and as I say that, Endy takes the lead from him. And as they're heading into the chain again, will we see another mistake by one of the drivers? No, not really. All the drivers stick right with each other through there. However, it is mistakes like those that might allow Sussy Imposter Giacomo to 16 rise to possibly catch back up. So don't count those drivers out. Mistakes like that do allow for that gap to be bridged. So now Endy leads through turn one, holds the lead through turn one. Sebastian Coteau just behind him. Now, as I say that, Sebastian Coteau takes the lead and then immediately loses it again from Endy.
I'm really wide right there. I'm not sure what happened to man 15 there. I think just got understand. Maybe some dirt and maybe like a dirty air from the drivers in front.
Yes.
To the very long straight. Man 15 is gonna get all the slipstream that he wants. He wants to get the slipstream. He wants to get back into the battle for the lead.
Now they're heading through that tough corner. Is anybody going to hit the wall? Oh, I think one driver might have just clipped it. I think Endy might have just clipped the wall, but not enough to really cause any major damage. What is surprising is that Man 15 has not been able to catch up to the drivers ahead. He is within slipstream, so it's quite surprising that he's still a second behind.
Still trying. I mean, he is still keeping up with the pack, so that's not too bad at all. I think what's bad is that if Man 15 really is out slipstream range, then yeah, he's really a goner.
Yes, and being as far back as he is, it doesn't take much to fall out of the slipstream range. Just one bad corner, and he could be done. His race-winning hopes
Went
could
really
be over.
wide.
Yes, Sebastian Coteau
Yeah,
just
big.
went quite wide. Loses a lot of time.
Well, and that is inviting Man 15 back into the battle for the lead.
Yes, that gives him a lot better of a margin. Bacons as well, who also made a mistake and went very wide and is now back there with Van 15. As now Milo leads, as I say that, Play Games takes the lead from Milo, from Karsten, Endy, and things shuffle once again, as I believe Endy makes, no? Endy corner cuts, and he gets a massive slowdown. He's now behind Man 15.
Oh, I'm not too sure. I think I saw Andy clip the wall there.
I'm pretty sure that happened on the inside, not the exit of the corner. I'm pretty sure that happened on Apex, from what I saw. And Endy is still within slipstream range of the car in front, but it's not the best. It's not a very strong slipstream. So will he be able to hold on? Will our championship leader keep his Gisborne Hill winning hopes alive? Looks like he is slowly closing, but he also has to contend with dirty air through some of the tighter sections of the course. So we'll have to see. He's holding on for right now.
15. Yeah, Andy. Now it's Andy's turn to hold on for dear life. So yeah, So yeah, that corner cut really cost him there, and now he's dropped all the way down to P9.
Yes, just one mistake can really hurt a driver in slipstream tracks such as Gisborne Hill. As Man 50
He
makes a
made a
massive
mistake
mistake and heads
through the
back to
triple
join
chicane.
Endy. Maybe the two of them will be able to push together to catch the drivers in front.
takes the lead from his driver Sebastian Vettel as they go into turn one. Let's see who's going to be taking the lead. Sebastian he goes deeper into turn one, but that's not gonna work out because Bacon still keeps the lead. Milo goes into second, and Sebastian drops to fourth. Play Games is in third right now. There's now and now Andy and Man 15. They're both back in the fight for the race win. To go to that happen and see if anyone's gonna go wide. I think Sebastian just went slightly wide there, but that's not going to affect him too much.
Yeah, all the drivers really close together. Really close. We'll have to see if any of them make a mistake as we come through this section again. We've seen a lot of mistakes come out of these corners right here. So, any more? Oh, it looks like I believe one of the Envision cars hit the wall. Yes, Karsten hit the wall and has fallen back a little bit. This invites Bacons, who made an earlier mistake, I believe, to help catch back up as he now has the slipstream from Karsten.
Carson he slowed down I think a little too much to avoid the wall, and that I mean if Carson he was gonna hit the wall, it's gonna be a lose-lose situation because either you slow down and avoid the wall or you just completely hit the wall.
Yes, it's very easy to hit that wall there. We saw drivers make all sorts of mistakes during practice, hitting that wall.
Same,
I think nearly every driver's hit it at least once.
yeah, I've hit it multiple times. I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate that corner.
It can
Sorry.
be very frustrating to drive, yes. It looks like Karsten's managed to catch back up. Bacon's still a little bit further behind, but not by much. And he's with man 15 now, so they're going through that section. Any more mistakes? I don't see anybody hit the wall too hard. I think or somebody just about missed hitting the wall, but looks like they're good right now.
Man 15, he had a good run through the uphill corner. Just to note out, and Bacon's is only 3 tenths behind. So it is all to play for right now. You can't afford to make any mistakes. Once you make a singular mistake, that could ruin your race. That could ruin your race pretty much.
Yep. All the drivers are very close together, but you can start to see a little bit more of a gap forming. Previously, P1 to 9 was all within like 2 seconds, but right now they're spread out across, uh, or sorry, it was all within like 2 tenths, but right now they're spread across around 5 tenths. It's still very tight up at the front, but we could start to see possibly as the tires get worn, the driving gets more difficult, so we could possibly start to see drivers starting to separate out a bit. These large groups possibly subdividing. As now we go through the hill, up the hill once again, the namesake of the track, and around the final
Yeah,
corner into the start of lap 13.
play games just slowed down all of a sudden.
Oh, what happened to Andy? What's happened to Andy?
Yeah, yeah, all yeah, play games as well. He just suddenly dropped back. I'm not sure what happened to the pair of them.
Yes, who knows what could have just happened there. It's very interesting. Andy now very far back. I think he's still just about within slipstream, but definitely not too strong. He's 8 tenths down right now. So will he be able to hold on and catch back up? Or is this possibly the end of his podium dreams? Looks like he's catching back up through the back straight, but then he doesn't have a very good chicane section. And he misses the wall, but he's still very far back on the cars ahead. Nearly a full second at this point. a good nine tenths or so. So we'll have to see if Andy's able to catch back up. And the gap is starting to shrink just a little bit, but we'll have to see whether or not that trend keeps going. As now he goes through that super wide corner that can be really hard on worn tires. And looking up at the front a bit more, you can see all the drivers heading through uh, uh, to the start, to the really long back straight. This is where Andy is going to be able to catch back up with slipstream. Because he's got the slipstream of all those cars in front that even with the distance in between them, I'm sure he'll be able to uh, catch back up at least a little bit, and he does. He's not fully caught back up, but it's better. And as I say that, I think he might have made another mistake, or at least he went very wide through that corner there. But I don't think it was quite a mistake because he is now gaining time again.
Intentional by Andy. I think he's trying to play it safe, go slightly wide. He just wants to open up going to the corner. So yeah, good on him.
Yes.
I think he takes the lead away from play games, goes slightly wide, and he drops all the way back to P5. Now Stylize takes the lead from man pifting, and man pifting retake back to P3 immediately. So yeah, so the leaderboard's just changing like once every second.
Looks like Andy's properly caught back up now. As they're now heading onto the back straight once again. And heading into the chicanes. Are there any mistakes? Andy makes another mistake and falls behind again.
Keep going to the entry of the triple chicane. That's cost him. Yeah, now he's 7 tenths behind. We had at one moment all 9 drivers separated by just by less than 1.5 tenths. So yeah, this just shows how competitive FRL really is, and especially for the EU Cup.
Yes, now it looks like Andy went a little bit wide through the corner. I think he might have missed the apex a little bit, but he is gaining slowly. I think he's back within the group. Of course, will he make the same mistake again? It would be the 4th time he's made that mistake. But maybe third time's the charm. Maybe he's learned his lesson this time.
Because all of these drivers, they take the corners really aggressively. They take it like really quick. So yeah, there's pretty much no time for you to react if you make a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, Slat Eyes makes that mistake this time instead of Andy. As now Slat Eyes has fallen behind by a fairly decent margin.
Seconds that could be out of the slipstream range for Slat Ice.
And as the drivers cross the line, I believe this is just about half race distance. So we might start seeing some pit stops within the next 5 laps, possibly. Drivers who started on hards. But we'll have to see. They might not pit for another 10, possibly. But yeah, Slat really trying to close that gap, but it's not working out for him so far. But maybe once you get to the front straight, he'll be able to do so. But right now,
He
he's got
wants
a
to
second
Andy.
gap. Oh, and Endy makes a slight mistake, and that just opens the door right back up for Slat Eyes to close that gap. Heading into the chicane, will we see any more mistakes? Yes, I believe I saw somebody hit the wall. I believe man 15 bonked his back wheels onto the wall just a little bit, just enough to slow him down. And he's dropped to the rear of the pack. Is that Slat Eyes? Slat Eyes just made a massive mistake, took too much speed through the final corner, and wound up compromising his exit onto the pit straight. And he's lost a lot of time, and he is out of Slipstream. If he cannot crawl it back soon, then this is Slat Eye's hopes for a win possibly over.
Hazard, he is the team boss for A71. He's currently in the server right now. But I do believe he's officiating the race alongside Enzo. So what I've noticed the past few laps that Hazard's been telling his drivers and maybe Andy to the cut as Carlton made a mistake, and that's allows Slat Eyes to get back into the slipstream.
Yes, so that could be like vital for Slat Eyes to be able to catch back up.
Oh, there, they all they just barely missed the wall there.
Yes, very, very tight racing all through the track here. Slat Eyes still a second behind Karsten. Oh, but he's falling back just a little bit. The worn tires must be really affecting Slat right now. And Slat's only just barely hanging on to Slipstream. Slat could still be out of this race. Or out of the fight for the win at least. As now we see all the drivers going through the hairpin onto the back straight. And Slat is 9/10 off of the cars in front, and as he's getting the slipstream through here. So, or no, sorry, I think there's 11/10. But it looks like that increases ever so slightly, possibly. As now we see multiple drivers. Oh, and Slat hits the wall and loses a ton of time. That may well and truly be it now.
I think now,
But
I
I think
believe.
now we have drivers pitting. Bacon's into the pits. So I presume he would likely pit from hard to medium. He's the first pitter. So if he might manage to emerge just behind Dustin or possibly with some other drivers. If he manages to emerge with other drivers, then he could get the slipstream from those back runners, which could be monumentous in securing him. Because this pit stop is where we're going to see that group split. And Bacon's might have been hung out to dry, but he might still get slipstream from Dustin, who's just in front of him. It looks like he is close enough to get the slipstream from Dustin, so that could be monumental in preventing Bacons from completely losing any chance for the win here.
Interesting because from what Sebastian says that everyone that's like in the top 9, they well the top 8 basically, they're gonna go on to the softs. I mean that's what he says. I'm not sure about the rest. So yeah, there's some interesting tactics going on within the top 8.
Yes, it definitely seems like nobody wants to pit. Does anybody pit this lap? No, nobody pits. And I believe it's top 7 at this point since Slat and P8 is 2 seconds down. Or 2 seconds up. 2 seconds away. I think you understand what I mean. Anyways, Bacons has managed to get past Dustin and is now closing in on Jespers. Now we see Giacomo and Sus the Imposter both in the pits. Sus the Imposter pits for the medium tires. So does Giacomo. And they emerge. Looks like Sus the Imposter has a slightly faster stop. Looks like they're going to emerge together, possibly near Sack. As now Sack heads up to turn 1. And if we look back a little bit more, it looks like Bacon's is just behind Jesper, and close enough that he does have slipstream on the back straight once again. Bacons could be gaining a lot of time here on the drivers up front. He could be gaining a lot of time here. Now the drivers in front, do any of them pit? No. Wait, I believe one did slide into the pits. Which one was that? That is Endy. Endy goes into the pits. Will he emerge near Bacons? Will he emerge in front of Bacons? Will he emerge behind Bacons? It looks like Slat has also entered the pits. Is now
Stays out.
16
Going
rise in the
against
pits,
clean
just around
waters
the
here.
hits. And now Bacons goes past Endy, who's still in, who's just now entering pit exit, and through turn 1, and the gap is a full 5 seconds. That's 5 seconds Endy will have to make up 2
Four.
Bacons in front.
Yes, 4 seconds is the gap currently. So
4.5, I think is the most accurate. So will he be able to do that, especially since he doesn't have slipstream, unlike Bacons did ahead of him? Of course, behind him you got Slat, who pit for soft tires. Could Slat possibly grab fastest lap? And as those front runners get close to the pits again, do any of them take that exit, take that pit entry? It looks like all of them do. It looks like we have one driver staying out.
Milo.
One driver out, and that is Milo. This could be really bad for Milo now. He has no slipstream on worn tires, and he's going to have to pit this lap. So we'll have to see how
Gone
that
to the
turns out
soft,
for
aren't
him.
they? Oh no, Carson goes into the mediums. Man 15 and Mark goes into the softs. So
We got a nice split between soft runners and medium runners right now. So we'll have to see which one is the superior strat.
Indy ends up just in front of Man 15. I'm not sure what the gap is. Let me check. 1.2 seconds the gap now. So Man 15 and the rest behind, they're pretty much in the slipstream range.
Yes. It just about, yes, I believe they are within slipstream range. So that could spell doom for Milo up ahead, but you don't know. You never know. If Milo gets a good stop, that front group is fairly spread out now with Flat Eyes a good distance back from the rest of them. So this might not be a death sentence to Milo, but it will certainly hurt. Because now we see Milo up ahead going into the pits, trying to get as fast of a stop as he possibly can. Will he go to the mediums, or will he possibly go to the softs? And does he get a good stop? He stops well. He goes onto the soft compound tire. As now we're looking at the drivers go by, and Slat goes right by him on the down the pit straight. As now Milo reaches pit exit and has to try to accelerate, and it looks like he's going to be too far back. I do not think he'll get slipstream, but he is on those soft tires. No, he is just too far back. I do not believe slipstream is quite viable, but all it takes is one mistake from Seb or Slat, and he might be able to get that. And Milo is on the soft tires, which will make him just a little bit faster right now, which will help him to make up that gap, especially through Sector 3.
Man 15 has gone purple in Sector 1. Could that be a new fastest lap? Bacon has had that fastest lap for 15.129 or maybe a couple laps now. I'm not too sure how long he has held that for. I think he got it.
He probably got it one of the first laps with the fresh, hard tires. But yeah, Man 15 for purple and green could definitely take it. He also could have gotten it earlier when he pit for mediums. And he, Mark sets a new fastest lap. That's a very fast lap right there.
0.2.
Are we going to see some of those front drivers make some mistakes as they try to catch Bacon's ahead, who is slowly falling back? Or who they are slowly gaining time to Bacon's. Bacon's is on older tires than Mark or Andy or any of those other drivers in the top five.
I think my eyes are deceiving me. Mark must have said 14.2. Yeah, I think it's a 14.2. Maybe. Okay, let's just see at the end of the race if Mark actually said 14.2. Oh, Andy hits the
Andy!
wall.
That's a
Yeah, he hits the
massive
wall there.
mistake by Andy. Loses a ton of time. He loses nearly a full second based off that, but the top group is very spread out right now, so that isn't quite a death sentence. Milo has not managed to gain enough time to Slat Eyes to regain Slipstream, so it looks like Milo might be out, and similarly, Sebastian Coteau and Slat Eyes are too far back to possibly be able to catch up to Endy at this point without massive mistakes up front. So it's looking like it might be a six-person up. It looks like there might be only six people with a real shot to possibly get the win right now. Bacons, Mark, Man15, Play Games, Karsten, and Endy. Of course, there is that real question about softs versus mediums, you know? Mark and Man15 are both on softs, but those tires are going to die much faster than the mediums that the cars around them are on. Of course, Bacons is on much older mediums, so who knows? Will he be able to catch up and possibly challenge for that win, or will his worn tires doom him to be
What is
just
Mark
following?
doing? He's weaving all over the place. He's doing the Dino Monkey, isn't he? That was pretty much a 3 by 3. Bastin and Slat Eyes, there are 7 and 8, but they're 3.6 seconds behind.
Yes, Play Games, Man15, and Mark up there at the front fighting it out for the win. Or fighting it out for the lead, with Andy, Karsten, and Bacons fighting just behind. And will Andy, Karsten, Bacons catch back up and take the fight to those podium spots? Or will Mark, Man15, and Play Games claim the podium? Oh, and Andy makes a massive mistake, hits the wall again. Loses a ton of time again, and it looks like Bacon's also made a mistake. Looks like Andy lost nearly a full second on that.
Wide. They just went through wide right there. Carlson, he's still
Carson is slowly gaining to the three cars in front, so he might enter this battle for the lead very soon. As now we have 6 laps to go. So we're starting to get close to that point where if you aren't up there, that's it. Like your race is probably through. You will not get the win. We're starting to get to that point where positions are decided. And doesn't look like Andy and Bacons are going to be able to catch back up to Karsten. And Karsten, I'm not sure he'll be able to catch up to Man 15 and Mark Anthony and Play
maybe
Games.
like half a second.
Yes, but that gap really hasn't been decreasing too much, so we'll have to see. Of course, as I say that, Karsten does manage to make it shrink just a little bit more. Ooh, and Karsten
He
goes a
almost,
little
oh no,
wide, but doesn't quite corner cut. Very lucky for Karsten.
he's made a mistake.
Well, yeah, Mark made a mistake and is now back with a Karsten, so the two Envision drivers now fighting to try and get back up to fight for the win. There's only
15,
5
they got it.
tenths. Half a
Yeah,
second.
now So now what Man 15 and Play Games needs to do is that they need to pretty much try to bridge a gap. Kind.
Yeah. And it's looking like Karsten and Mark are going to catch back up. They're just behind now, just 2/10.
Straight away. They caught back up straight away, so
Yes, and now we have a four-man fight for that lead. And it looks like Mark makes a minor mistake and falls back a little bit, but not too much.
there, I'm not too sure.
Well, he's still losing a bit of time as they head up the hill, but I think he's managed. I think he's good now. And
Made a
he's
mistake.
yes,
Yeah,
Karsten makes a small
dropping behind
mistake.
now.
So it looks like this might just be Play Games versus Man 15, and for the win. And if that's the case, Man 15 is on the soft tires. If those tires die within the next 3 or 4 laps, then we could see Play Games possibly taking this win. And this is his debut race, no? Or at least one of his. This is definitely his rookie season. One of his first races. Let me check the. Yeah, I do believe that this is Play Games' first race. So this could possibly be a debut win.
Games. Us league members who have been asking Play Games if he wants to join the league. He has refused for quite an amount for some time, but I think he's finally gave in and decided to join the league. And and now this is where Play Games is at. He's currently in P2 and fighting for his maiden win in his maiden race.
And it looks like now they're going through that really wide corner. Up into the hairpin. You got 4 drivers fighting for the lead right now. Well, maybe 3. Man 15 is kind of debatable. He's fallen back a bit on worn softs. But Mark, Karsten, and Play Games are all still fighting. Play Games is currently leading. Will he be able to hold on to it? And Play Games gets a really good entry into the chicane section. And he gets a pretty decent exit too. So now he leads the race. When they cross the line, it'll be 2 laps to go. So as the drivers come up to the line for the penultimate lap, you can see him entering turn 1. Play Games, Karsten, Man 15, and Mark Anthony. One of these 4 drivers will come away with the win. The other 2 will be on the podium, and one of them will lose out on both. So who's going to take that win? And it looks like Play Games is leading currently. There's still 2 laps to go.
Good job, Play Games through turn 3. As they go to the hairpin, Play Games is going to edge on Man 15
What a
and Mark
great
Anthony
hairpin
as
by
well.
Play Games. Oh my gosh. If he keeps driving like that, I have no doubt that he will be able to get this win. But Karsten's right there with him, as are Man 15 and Mark Anthony. Through the chicanes. Are we going to see any drivers make mistakes?
Touched the
No,
wall.
no
He
major
almost touched the wall.
mistakes. Mark Anthony touched the
Mark
wall?
Anthony.
Ooh.
I think he may have tapped the wall there enough to slow him down. And he was also thinking, oh, Karsten and Play Games. Oh,
Yes, very close. And now we start the final lap of the race. Play Games, Karsten,
the
Man
white
15,
flags in
Mark
the air.
Anthony. There were 9 drivers in that front pack at lap 5. 4 remain. Which one of them will be able to take that win? as they're heading down the hill through Sector 1. Will we see any mistakes? As this is the time to get desperate. This is the time where we're going to see drivers make desperate lunges, really risky, take really risky lines, possibly make mistakes. And play games. Looks like play games might be glitching a bit. Is he disconnecting on the final lap?
Disconnecting. Yeah, I think he's disconnected.
No.
Oh.
No. Talk about unfortunate. He might come back, but I'd highly doubt it at this point. That is so unfortunate. But now we see Mark Anthony, Carson the Killer, and Man 15 all fighting for that win. Mark, of course, reserving from AM, and it looks like Man 15 makes a massive mistake. Karsten just behind. Mark Anthony is clearly in the lead right now. Will he be able to hold it through the final corners? Karsten just behind. It looks to be a 1-2 for Envision. But will Man 15 possibly take it from Karsten? It doesn't look like it.
Nope.
No, it's a
Nope.
1-2 for Envision. As now Andy crosses the line, followed by Sebastian Coteau, Code Bacons, Milo, Slat Eyes. Giacomo is up next, but he's fighting with 16 Rise. Will 16 Rise possibly be able to take that spot away? It doesn't look like it. As now they come up to the line, who will take it? Oh, Giacomo by just a bit. Followed by Jesper. Next up. And then Sussy Imposter right behind him. And then to the final driver to cross the line will be Dustin. And he weaves across the track and slows right down and stops in front of the finish line. That was a pretty great race. If I do say so myself.
For play games.
What an unfortunate turn of events for play games. The final lap as he was fighting for the win. That is truly heartbreaking for play games.
So, yeah, 2 sectors ago, and I'm guessing his internet just gave out. But regardless, play game, he's surely a future champion here in Formula ROBLOX League.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Certainly. It's not easy to match Man 15, Mark Anthony, and Endy. It's not easy to match those drivers, and it's even harder to beat them the way that he has. Anyways, with that, we conclude our stream for the for round 8 of the European Cup. Join us in 3 hours, if I recall correctly, for another race at this track for the American Cup. This is FRL signing off.